Alrighty, we are now just 6 days away from the official release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Disney and Lucasfilm are prepped for the fans to see exactly what they are in for and what they are going to be delivered by J.J. Abrams to end the sequel trilogy and the Skywalker saga. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 is that this film is said to be a foundation to create something new, and that there will be little hidden connections to what's to come for the new Star Wars trilogy. Now, I've expressed my own concern based on what we have been hearing through the leaks and what we have seen in the TV spots, etc. I will admit that yesterday, that trailer, when Kylo Ren went into the shrines of the Sith and heard Palpatine's voice, very well cut trailer. It shows us that Disney and Lucasfilm know how to market a Star Wars film, but it really is too late. It really is, because they could have done that from the very start and almost came off as them being desperate. That's how at least I saw it, is that they know that, time is running out and they have to get fans reeled in order to make the film do well at the box office. Now, with that being said, the future of the franchise so far is said to be quite expansive. Of course, depending on the success of The Rise of Skywalker, Disney and Lucasfilm are planning out their roadmap of the future Star Wars films and everything related for Disney Plus, you name it. Now, it's explained that Disney and Lucasfilm are currently focused on The Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian Season 2, the Kenobi TV series, Cassian Andor TV series, and even the new Star Wars trilogy, where both Disney and Lucasfilm are looking to reset the Star Wars franchise in terms of resetting how they handle these Star Wars films and who they will cater to in the future. Now, it said that this will apply to the new Star Wars trilogy films as well, and that currently they are looking for ways to create a new mythology, and that Kathleen Kennedy has a director locked in for the first film of the new trilogy, and that there are also negotiations of Jon Favreau writing the first film of the new trilogy depending on his schedule, with Star Wars The Mandalorian and other projects as well. Additionally, it said that discussions are moving forward and that they are still in talks with Keanu Reeves to join the Star Wars universe for the first film of the new trilogy, dubbed as Star Wars X, aka Star Wars Episode 10, and that Disney and Lucasfilm are debating on using the Roman numerals once more in the new trilogy of Star Wars films. Also, it's noted that Disney is looking at a role for some of the cast from the Marvel films and the cast to make their way into the Star Wars franchise, just how they borrowed the cast of Game of Thrones to become a part of Star Wars. After the split up between creators David Benioff and D.B. Weiss and HBO, and Disney haven't had the best connections since then, and that now Disney is looking to expand to include not only A-list actors and actresses for the new trilogy, but also actors and actresses from the Marvel movies as other characters in these new films. It's explained that the first film of the new trilogy is that the plan is to make it inspired from the Old Republic era. However, it's unclear if it will be the Old Republic literally or just based off of it, where Disney will create their own spin on it. So let's go over a couple of parts about this big plan by Disney and Lucasfilm and exactly what the future holds for Star Wars. Now, we've talked about this before in the past. The future of the franchise really does depend on the success of The Rise of Skywalker. Now, obviously, Disney only cares about money, and there's no doubt about it that this movie is going to make decent money. I don't think that they're going to lose money. I don't think it'll be a total flop, but I think that it's not going to perform as well as The Last Jedi did. That I do believe. Based on all the leaks that we have been going over, the projections at the box office, this was actually on the news just the other day, I believe on CNN or Fox News, one of those channels, where they were talking about box office projections, and it was far less than that of The Last Jedi. About 20% less, I think it was, something around those lines, and I think it does fall directly in line with how the number of views on the official trailer, the final trailer of The Rise of Skywalker, is far less than the views of the final trailer for The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. It speaks for itself right there. So, the future of the franchise, alright, let's look at the upsides of the new mythology of Star Wars films. Now, obviously, I'm not a fan of what Bob Iger said the other day. I'm really not. How he said they gotta go past the Star Wars fans, they want to make the movies unburdened by Star Wars fans, and they want to actually dedicate the movies to common moviegoers. Basically, it's kind of like turning Star Wars into Transformers, where you can just go ahead and watch the movie without knowing exactly what it is. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the Transformers movies. This is not me bashing the Transformers movies in any way. But you get what I'm saying. The Transformers films, they are for the general audience. Anybody can go ahead and see them and not know anything about the history of Transformers. That's essentially what's going on here with the future of the franchise, is that they want to create Star Wars films like those kind of movies, right? Where anybody can just go in it and just not know what in the world it really is and walk out of the theater and just enjoy it. Which, you know, some people out there may like that decision by Disney and Lucasfilm, but Star Wars fans, I don't believe, are going to like that decision, because that means that Star Wars fans, once they go ahead into these movies, they can't really look for anything specific. An example, they may rename the characters related to the Old Republic era. For example, maybe we will get a character that is going to look just like Darth Revan, but is not going to be called Darth Revan per se, if you understand where I'm going here. Or, like I just said before, how they're looking to actually make these films inspired by the Old Republic. This could mean that instead of basing it thousands of years before The Phantom Menace, it could be based hundreds of years before The Phantom Menace, or they could do something out of this world where it's going to be based thousands of years after the events of Episode 9, and it's going to be based many years after that new republic, or that new actual republic after the events of Episode 9 falls again, and then you can call it the Old Republic, and it would explain the Roman numerals that they're trying to implement into these movies. So, like I say, the fact that they're still trying to get Keanu Reeves on board and trying to work around with his scheduling, very big deal, because Keanu's a very busy man right now. He is busy with multiple projects, like with The Matrix 4 and John Wick 4, both of which are due for release, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It is 2021, but I believe it's May of 2021, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but those two movies, it's going to be quite a fun year, to be honest. Those two movies will be releasing in the same exact year. So we got John Wick and we got The Matrix. So, given that they will start filming in 21, you know, they have to work around Keanu's schedule, and that's why a lot of things are really up in the air right now with Keanu and the discussions around the new Star Wars trilogy, you name it. So, moving on forward from this, alright, we actually went over before in the past how they are also in the talks with Anthony Hopkins coming on board to portray a specific character, and not just that, that Jon Favreau is going to have a say in the matter of the first film of the new trilogy, and that they are even in negotiations of including him as a writer for the first film of the new trilogy, dubbed as Star Wars X, depending on his scheduling with the future Mandalorian seasons for Disney+. Obviously, The Mandalorian is going to go past Season 2. That's a given. I see that series going all the way up until Season 10, honestly. I mean, there's so much endless material that you can really explore, and given that each episode is short, you can make a lot of seasons out of that. That's my only criticism with the new Mandalorian series, is that each episode is just way too short. It's only like 20 minutes and change, technically, if you take, you know, the credits away, you know, out of the equation. So, with that being said, guys, you know, everything related to The Rise of Skywalker, like I say, my thoughts about my concerns related to that movie still remain. Based on the leaks that we've been going over, I still do have a lot of concerns about that movie. I still do have, you know, my criticisms intact with what we have heard about the movie. And it's going to be an interesting ride to see exactly how the fans will determine the movie for themselves once it finally releases in theaters next week on the 19th. I will be there on the 19th at 6:30 p.m., and I will be seeing it on the pre-opening night. So I will be doing a review. Keep your eyes open. A unfiltered review, my honest opinion, no sugarcoating anything, about what I thought about the movie on the night of December 19th, so be prepared for that. But yeah, anyways guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.